Hello, welcome to this week's Wild Spirits News. I'm Sibylla, and today I ask you, can you endure happiness? Whenever I bring up this subject, people are incredulous or they start to laugh and they say, give me happiness, I'll endure it. But in fact, if you look around, you probably not know that many people that are happy the majority of the time. And that is because, in truth, our happiness levels are habitual. They don't so much depend on what happens to us, a lot less than we like to think. It depends on how happy or unhappy we habitually are. I've called this happiness thermostat in the past. If you followed me for a while, you might have heard me use that expression. By the way, T. Harv Eker uses a similar expression to talk about money. He says people have a financial thermostat. And that is the reason why 98% of lottery winners end up just as broke as they were before in a very short time. It's not because they're stupid, it's because their financial thermostat isn't set to wealth. And the same goes for happiness. Now, the good news is you can actually, with most thermostats, you can change the level, you can increase your happiness levels. And your mission today is to learn how to do this, how to increase your happiness levels, and how to learn how to endure more happiness. Task number 1 is called determine your happiness level. To do this, first remember back to a time when you were intensely happy in your life. Maybe you'd just fallen in love, or you'd got a great job. And this exhilaration, this happiness, I want you to not just remember it rationally, intellectually, but also emotionally. Try to tap into these intense feelings of exhilaration and of happiness back then. And then think about how long this intense happiness, this exhilaration lasted for you. Maybe if you fell in love with your perfect partner, maybe you ended up staying with them or even marrying them and you're still together, you're still happy now years later, that's great. Maybe something else went wrong in the meantime. Look at your overall happiness levels and just see how this evolved after a period of intense happiness. And again, how long this lasted. Now, you need to be really honest with yourself with this. And this is, by the way, not something that is my or anybody else's business. It's just yours. You don't need to share this with anyone. So be vulnerable, be honest and open with yourself. And try and determine, this is the last step of task 1, try to determine how much time you spend happy, sad, angry, content, depressed, whatever feelings, whatever emotions are present in your life. And this might go beyond this video. You might have to keep tabs on your emotions for a week or 2. And this, again, is not about times of intense happiness or intense sadness when something happens in your life. We all have these periods. This is about the habitual, when circumstances are fairly normal, our habitual level of happiness or unhappiness and the emotions that we most often feel. Try to determine these. That's task number 1. Task number 2 is escape the tyranny of positivity. I've talked about this before. This is not about feeling happy all the time. This is not about feeling bad when you feel anything else than happy. And this is a huge danger. This is why this is a separate task. It's a separate task for you to learn about this and to understand that you shouldn't judge yourself. This is all about becoming aware and increasing happiness capacity, but not about judging yourself and feeling bad about yourself, because that will be counterproductive. It is completely normal to feel sadness, anger, disappointment. It's the whole range of emotions. They're all natural, normal, and everybody experiences them and should experience them. Because that's, again, they're the natural emotions. This is what I'm talking about once more is a habitual state of emotion. And that's much harder to pin down, by the way. And that's why you need to observe yourself. And when you observe yourself, please make sure not to judge. It's very easy when you do this, when you become aware of your emotions, to feel like a failure every time you feel something other than happiness. That's not what this is about. Just make an observation and find out how much time you spend in each state. Task number 3 is steps to increase your happiness capacity. Now that you've become more aware, you can take steps to increase your capability, your endurance of happiness, so to speak. I'll give you a few suggestions. You just pick and choose what you like. You can do something completely different. This is just to inspire you. So the first thing I'd suggest is read the book The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. I always recommend this, and I'll keep recommending it until I'm blue in the face, because this is such an amazing book. This is the cornerstone of all my work, actually. So he has so much wisdom in this book. You learn so much. There's also an affirmation that you can say daily that you can use to do exactly that, and that is to increase your capacity for happiness. So read this book. The second step I'd recommend is to check in 3 times a day, or 2 times a day. Set yourself a reminder on your phone, morning, noon, and night, or maybe just morning and night, whatever suits you. And in these, when the alarm goes off, you take a minute just to breathe a little bit, and to just check in, once again, without judging, check in with your emotions. How do you feel? And if you feel anything that you don't particularly like, you can take gentle steps towards improving that a little bit. Again, if something major has happened in your life, as you lost someone you loved or whatever, then obviously you will feel mourning. That's completely fine. But on a daily basis, if you just habitually don't feel so well, you can then take a step to remind yourself of what you're grateful for, remind yourself of the good things in your life, and try to make yourself smile, so to speak, 2 or 3 times a day. The third step I'd recommend is establish a morning routine. I'm putting a link into the article, into the description below, because I've talked about this before. Morning routines can set you on an even keel in the morning and can set you up for happiness by eliminating things that, like a habitual feeling that you wake up with in the morning, or maybe you had a bad dream, or you didn't get a good night's sleep. A morning routine will even this out, so to speak, and set you up for a happy day. And the fourth step is gratitude, a gratitude practice. I mentioned this before. Do something either in the morning or in the evening that you write down 3 or 5 things that you're grateful for. But the important thing is not to just write them down, but to actually feel the emotion of gratitude. Now, what you're grateful for could be something completely mundane, like you have a roof over your head, you have clothes to wear, you have food to eat, you have people you love in your life, or whatever. It can be the same thing every day. It can be that the sun shines today, whatever. Just find a couple of things that you're grateful for every day and experience that emotion of gratitude. All these things will expand your capacity for happiness, and in the long run, in the middle and the long term, they'll make a huge difference. Task number 4 is, as usual, to let me know. Hit the reply button on the email that you got the link to the video with, and tell me what you take away from this video. What have you found out about your happiness level? Which steps are you going to implement to increase your capacity for happiness? Hit the reply button, email me, and I'll reply, I promise. If you didn't get the link to the video in an email, that means you're not part of the Wild Spirits community yet, and you should join us. Go to wildspiritscoaching.com and fill in that little form there. You'll get 1 email per week. It's 100% spam free. You'll get lots of extra information, extra articles, recommendations of books and other resources, and sometimes you get exclusive offers that are only for my subscribers that nobody else ever gets to see. So go to wildspiritscoaching.com and sign up. You can also Google Wild Spirits Coaching. That'll get you to the website as well. Thank you for watching.